Some people weren't made to blend in. They were made to break cycles. They walk through storms that would destroy others, and somehow emerge wiser, quieter, deeper. They are not loud. They are not always seen, but they are felt everywhere they go, because they carry a calling. Not from man, not from society, but from one divine source. The one God, unseen but present, has placed something different in them. Not privilege, not perfection, but purpose. Sometimes the worst storms bring the clearest purpose. Tud Sama. If you've ever sat in a silent room and felt a fire in your chest, if you've ever been misunderstood, pushed away, or broken down, but something in you refused to quit, that is not weakness. That is awakening. Is awakening. You weren't meant for average. Your scars are not shame. They're signatures. Proof that you were chosen to carry something heavier and rise higher. The chosen don't always win right away. They lose, they suffer, they cry, but they get back up because something inside them won't let them give up. And maybe that's you. Maybe this life isn't punishing you. Maybe it's preparing you to be the one who changes everything. These are the 5 deep signs you may be the chosen one. 1. You faced extreme pain, but refused to break. There's a kind of strength that can't be taught. It's not built in gyms. Not built in gyms. It's built in dark rooms, silent nights, and moments when it feels like everything is gone. But somehow, you're still breathing. If you've lived through things that should have broken you, if your heart has cracked but kept beating, if your tears dried, not because it stopped hurting, but because you had no choice but to keep walking, that is not weakness. That is evidence of a soul that was chosen. When the soul is tried by fire, it doesn't burn. It becomes gold. Pain is not proof that you are cursed. It is often the evidence that you've been entrusted with something higher, because the strongest vessels are forged in the hottest flames. Ask yourself, why do some people fall apart at small things, but you carried whole worlds on your shoulders in silence? It's not about comparison. It's about realization. Your survival is sacred. Your endurance is not random. It is refined purpose. You weren't broken. You weren't broken. You were built. You were built. That loneliness you felt, it wasn't abandonment. It was preparation. Because not everyone is meant to walk where you're going. Some people were sent here to be echoes, but some were sent to be a voice. And your voice is born when you've cried enough that silence starts to speak back. So if you've ever looked back and wondered, how did I survive all that? Maybe the answer is, you weren't supposed to survive. But you did, because you're chosen. 2. You see through the masks. Instinctively, there's a strange feeling that follows you everywhere. Like you were never meant to stay on the surface. You hear what people say, but you also feel what they don't say. You read silence like a sentence. You decode glances like language. Like language. You walk into rooms and instantly sense the atmosphere. Heavy, fake, light, deceptive, broken, pure, even when no one else notices a thing. You've probably been called too intense, too sensitive, too much. But the truth is, you're not too much. You're just tuned in to a frequency most people have learned to ignore. The eyes are useless when the mind is blind, but your soul sees. Chosen ones often carry this subtle burden, the burden of knowing too much, even when they didn't ask for it. You can't fake small talk for long. You don't enjoy shallow crowds. And betrayal doesn't shock you anymore, because you already felt it long before it happened. That's not paranoia. That's spiritual intelligence. It's like the universe gave you a mirror, not to reflect appearances, but to reveal truth. And truth, as you know, doesn't always wear pretty faces. You might ask yourself, why can't I just ignore things like others do? Because your path isn't ordinary. You are meant to awaken, not to blend in. The world runs on illusions, but you are chosen to walk with discernment. The 3 Isolation wasn't an accident. It was an initiation at some point in your life. Maybe even right now. You felt abandoned. People drifted. Doors closed. Relationships ended without explanation. Even family became distant. You wondered, what did I do wrong? But what if the answer is nothing? Sometimes God doesn't isolate you to punish you. He isolates you to prepare you. Chosen ones often go through a divine separation, not because they're broken, but because the noise of the crowd would drown the whisper of purpose. Your isolation was a sacred cocoon. You didn't lose people. You didn't lose people. You were just being peeled away from what was never meant to grow with you. Butterflies don't stay in the caterpillar's nest, and diamonds don't shine while they're still buried. You were being hollowed out, so something bigger could move in. Loneliness is often the price of elevation. And even though it hurt, you started discovering something inside you that only silence could unlock. Resilience, clarity, depth, truth. The deeper your pain, the greater your calling. If you've been walking alone, if you've spent nights wondering why your life feels like a spiritual wilderness, just know this. You're not lost, you're just in training. And those who are chosen are often chosen in the dark. For comfort, but for transformation. 4. You see through the noise, and it sets you apart. While others chase trends, attention, and shallow meaning, you find yourself craving truth, depth, and clarity. You ask questions that make others uncomfortable, not because you want to rebel, but because you genuinely want to understand. When you begin to awaken, you no longer see the world for what it tells you it is, but for what it truly is. This world is built on illusion, social media filters, pain. Social media filters pain. News fuels fear, fame covers emptiness, and money masks insecurity. But you see through it. You recognize that a quiet soul is louder than a boastful mouth. That love isn't possession, but presence. That peace is not given, it's practiced. You're not blind to darkness, but you refuse to be consumed by it. You carry a light that unsettles people who still live in the shadows. And that's why sometimes you feel alone in a crowded room. Like you're speaking a language no one else understands. But don't let that make you question your place. Because the chosen ones are not loud. They are clear. They are not perfect. They are purposed. They are not here to blend. They are here to break patterns. They are here to break patterns. You weren't born to be a mirror. You were born to be a window, so others can glimpse the world they've forgotten how to see.
Your pain wasn't random. It was preparation. You didn't just survive what happened to you.
You were forged by it. The heartbreaks, betrayals, loneliness, loss. They weren't detours. Loneliness, loss. They weren't detours. They were design. The chosen are not chosen because life was easy. They are chosen because life broke them open, and they still got up. Or scars are not shame, they are credentials. While others ask to why me, you learn to ask, what is this shaping in me? The pain you endured has given you a kind of compassion no school could teach. It gave you eyes that see what others overlook, a heart that understands what others can't explain, a spirit that walks into darkness, not afraid, but aware that light lives inside you now. People might say, you're too sensitive. You feel too much. You carry too much. But they don't understand. Your soul was wired for depth, for healing, for rebuilding what others gave up on. The strongest warriors are not the ones with the loudest voice, but the ones who keep walking after everyone else would have stopped. Being chosen doesn't mean you're better. It means you've been called to serve something bigger than yourself, even if the world never applauds you for it. Your tears were not wasted. Your silence was not empty. Your trials were not punishment. They were preparation. And now, you are not who you used to be, because you answered the call. If you felt even one of these signs in your bones, if something inside you stirred, even quietly, then you must understand this. You are not ordinary. You are not here to fit in. You are here to wake up, to rise from the numbness of this world, to walk paths others are too afraid to take. To carry light into places that have long forgotten the sun. There's a reason you never felt like you belonged. It's because you were sent to help rebuild what's been broken. Being chosen doesn't mean life becomes easier. It means life becomes intentional. You are here to challenge lies, break cycles, heal wounds, and carry wisdom that cannot be taught, only lived. There will be loneliness. There will be doubts. There will be moments where you'll want to go back to sleep. But hear this. The burden you carry is proof that your soul is awake. And in a world that thrives on noise, distraction, and conformity, an awakened soul is not a threat. It's a revolution. So walk boldly, even if you walk alone. Hey, speak truth, even if your voice trembles. Choose love, even if the world hands you hate, because you are chosen. By accident. By accident. Not by chance, but because something greater knew. Only you could carry this mission. And now, it's time to rise.